today's project, we are working on an introduction to grid drawing for beginning drawing students. For this project, you will need a picture that has a grid on it and a grid on which to draw. You will be able to find links to these in the comments below. You will also need a template that has two cutouts that are 1 inch square that have little marks on them that divide them up into 1/4 inch sections, which you will also find linked in the comments below. So once you print those out, you can place them onto your paper and you can see that it lines up so that you can look at this picture, just one little piece of it at a time, and you can draw just that one little piece over here at a time. And it takes this large item and it breaks it down into small, more manageable pieces that are easier to draw one thing at a time. The other advantage of this is it is divided up into 1/4 inches. So it's really easy for students to decide where to put their marks on their drawing so that they can get the most accurate drawing possible. So let's start right here. You can see when you look in this window, you see a sort of a diagonal line that has a little curve right here, and it begins just sort of right after this 1/4 inch mark, and it curves slightly, and then it angles down just about to the corner of the square. So we will try to duplicate that over here, curve it a little, and then we're going to draw down to the corner. And then let's look at some other things that you see in this window. I see a curved line here that starts below the halfway mark and curves down almost all the way to the 3/4 inch mark and then curves back up, and it ends about even with this halfway mark here. So try to orient yourself where you need to be over here, below the 1/2 inch mark, around here, curve down, and then back up. And then you can come over here to this spot where it's about lined up with this line here and a diagonal line that goes up towards the middle, almost all the way up to this level, which is just about here. So try to find that spot. It should be right about here, and make your diagonal line. And you can see these lines are in the accurate placements that they should be based on what we see over here. Now, I would advise my students not to worry about all the small details yet, just do the big outlines first. So that's enough of the big outlines for that rectangle or for that square. I'd move it up one and see what's in the next square. So in this square, you can see there's a curved line here that starts above this 1/4 inch mark. It curves out about even with this 1/4 inch mark, and it goes down to about the halfway mark, and then it starts curving in, and it curves in to just below this mark here. So this is a really good tool that will help you estimate the placement of everything and the proportions so that you can do a really accurate drawing, and it will look a lot like the original. Now I'm putting in these tiny little marks here, and then I see this little curved line here. So I'm going to try to copy that, and it goes just past this line here. And then you can move your paper over and look in the next window over here. In this window, I see a curve that comes out above the 1/4 mark, like right about here. And it curves down a little this way, and then it goes straight down this direction, and it ends up just to the left of the 1/4 inch mark, just about here. And I'll start on this little line here. It's just about at the halfway mark, and it kind of curves down and scoops back up at about even with this mark here. And then I see a diagonal line that goes over about halfway between these two lines here. And then there's another diagonal line here that goes up a little higher than this one. And at the top of that, I see a little curved line that goes like this. And then I see a circle here. Then you can add some of the smaller marks, or you can wait until later to add some of the smaller marks. I see another diagonal line right here. And then I can move down to another square. And in this way, just copying what you see one square at a time, it helps you isolate little bits and pieces of the drawing, so it's not so overwhelming, so you don't have to worry about drawing everything at once. And it's a very good tool to help you draw things accurately and get their placement just right and their proportions just right. And you will probably be surprised at how accurate your drawing will be. Once you get some practice with this method of drawing, you will be able to start to make these kinds of estimates in your brain without using the grid, and you'll become more accurate at drawing on your own. So as you can see, this is a really good tool for being able to draw accurately and getting things placed exactly where they need to go. And then you can go back in and you can fill in all your smaller details a little bit at a time after you get your basic outline. I hope you enjoy this project, and I'm sure it will teach you your really good drawing skills.